Somewhere right now, something impossible is happening. Something that was destroyed is growing back. A limb was severed, and it is growing back. Completely, perfectly, as if it never happened. This is an axolotl, the only creature on Earth that can regrow any limb completely. Now here is what nobody told you. Your DNA contains the exact same instruction. It was switched off 375 million years ago. And in 2026, scientists found the switch. What they did with it changes everything. To understand what happened in that lab, you need to understand one thing about your own body. Your DNA is not a blueprint. It is a library of switches. Billions of them, each one controlling whether a specific gene is on or off. The axolotl and you share the same library, the same switches, the same instructions. But in the axolotl, the switches that control regeneration are on. In you, they are off. This was not a mistake, it was a trade. 375 million years ago, your ancestors left the ocean. Life on land demanded different priorities: speed, endurance, survival. These things cost energy, enormous biological energy, every single day. Regeneration is expensive, biologically, energetically. Evolution made a choice. It turned the switch off. And survival won. But it never erased it. The switch is still there, in every cell you have, dormant, waiting. Which means, in theory, it can be turned back on. That is exactly what Josh Curry's team set out to prove. A molecular biologist at Wake Forest University. One question: where is the switch, and can we reach it? But to find the answer, they first had to go back 200 years. For 200 years, scientists watched axolotls regenerate and failed to find the answer. They observed, they documented, they published, and still the mystery remained. Generation after generation, lab after lab. They knew what they were looking for. They had no idea where to find it. They knew it was genetic. They knew it started in the epidermis, the outer skin layer that covers a wound. But which specific genes triggered the regeneration? Unknown. Then came CRISPR. For the first time in history, scientists could test individual genes, one by one, switch each one off, and watch what happened. No guesswork, just answers. It was like being handed the keys to a library of 10,000 light switches, and finally being allowed to flip each one separately. And one of those switches was the one the world had been looking for. Josh Curry's team at Wake Forest University had identified something. Across axolotls, zebrafish, and mice, 2 genes activated every single time a limb was damaged: SP8 and SP6. In every species that could regenerate, these genes were on. In every species that couldn't, they were silent. Curry designed an experiment. If he was right, the 200-year search was over. What he did next, nobody had ever done before. And what happened would change the question science had been asking for 2 centuries. The experiment was simple and devastating. They took an axolotl, an animal that had never, in 350 million years, failed to regenerate, and they removed SP8. The axolotl could not regenerate. The bones stopped forming, the tissue stopped growing, the switch was off. That was the proof. Remove one gene, and 350 million years of regeneration stops completely. SP8 is the switch. Then they had to go further. Brown's lab at Duke asked the question that mattered. What happens if we put this signal into a mammal? Using a modified virus, an AAV, they packaged the regeneration signal, the protein SP8 normally produces, and delivered it directly into the damaged digits of mice, into tissue that had not regenerated in 375 million years. Then they waited. The bone grew back. In a mammal, not a salamander, not a fish, a mammal, with bones like yours, blood like yours, like you. This is not a cure, not yet. The research is in its earliest stages. Human trials do not exist. Science is honest about that, and so are we. But here is what is certain. The switch exists. In every species that can regenerate, it is on. In every species that can't, it is there, just off, including in you. For the first time in history, someone flipped that switch in a mammal, and the finger grew back. Not in a textbook, not in a simulation, in a living creature. Somewhere in your body, in every cell, that switch exists. 375 million years of silence. 375 million years of waiting. And it is still there. And for the first time, we know where it is. We know its name. If this changed how you see your own body, subscribe to Curiodex Science, a new discovery every week. The axolotl has always known. It has carried this secret for 350 million years, in every wound that healed, in every limb that returned. Now, so do we.